Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Right now at 8 o'clock, breaking news. A woman is hurt after an apparent stabbing at a Raleigh apartment complex. What we're learning from that scene this morning.
Plus, gunfire in Cary. Police are investigating gunshots in a neighborhood. What we're learning from the scene after officers found a weapon there.
And I'm tracking a front that's going to be bringing thunderstorms to our northern counties. I'll show you who will be affected and when.
And slow driving ban. Lawmakers considering a bill that would up the minimum speed on highways. The new efforts to keep traffic moving. There's a lot of cars on the roads. We have to keep the traffic moving. We'll get to that story in just a bit. Thanks for joining us. I'm Michelle McConaughey.
I'm Chris Lemongood. Yeah, we want to go ahead and swing over to weather because we know Elizabeth's tracking that next weather maker for us here as you're waking up on your Wednesday morning.
So underneath this front, we're going to be really hot today. A southerly flow is going to bring our temperatures up to near record highs. But the front to our north will slip southward and bring showers and thunderstorms to our northern counties, likely as far south as around the Triangle, which could have some impact to the evening commute. It doesn't look like it's going to be a big issue for us. I'm going to walk you through Futurecast so you can see where those storms are likely to pop up. But north and east of Raleigh, we could see a few of those producing some isolated wind damage. We have a pretty start this morning. We're seeing mostly sunny skies right here in Zebulon. You can see it's a little breezy. The flags there on the town hall lawn are moving around. We have a southwest wind at around 11 miles per hour, and it's sitting at 67. It's a lot warmer than it was this time yesterday. Temperatures in the mid to upper 60s. We climbed to 90 this afternoon. If we hit that 90, we will tie the record. But it's not just today. The heat sticks around through Friday, and then our chance for storms goes up. I'll show you how that could affect your weekend plans. Coming up, Ken.
8:01, Elizabeth. We're seeing the usual congestion building on some of our major roads, especially here in southern Wake County around Cary Apex area. See the huge backups between Highway 55 and I-40 this morning. Here's what it looks like, courtesy of a live cam network. You can see those bumper-to-bumper traffic coming in. It could have been a situation involving this vehicle that's right now on the shoulder of the road, but we'll double check that. But at least traffic is beginning to move a little bit. The southern loop of the Beltline, we're also seeing that situation where there's bumper-to-bumper traffic. That's the usual morning congestion that we see. As far as other major routes coming into the capital city, you're looking at a 13-minute delay there in US 1 coming in from Apex, a 15-minute delay coming in from Nightdale. Now, Friends and Wake Forest, you're looking at an 11-minute delay. Very little to no delay heading into Bull City this morning. Nothing that's going to make you late. And this quick reminder, all lanes of I-4, the eastbound, closed between Sutton Town Road near Newton Grove to exit 355 there in Faison as a result of a crash. Detours are in place. Take exit 348. Work your way to Highway 50 over to 117 and then back to I-40 eastbound this morning. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Always take us with you on the go. Thanks, Ken. Right now, police are at a Raleigh apartment complex, and we saw several officers there starting within the past couple of hours. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is live at West Grove Towers. And Kelsey, you learned a lot of information since you have been there. Walk us through it.
So I spoke with an officer on scene, Chris, about 90 minutes ago, and he says they're investigating what appears to be a stabbing. So forensics here has just arrived within the past 30 minutes, but they're investigating at this apartment complex in Raleigh. The WRAL breaking news tracker captured this video of an ambulance leaving the complex heading to the hospital. Police say one woman was hurt, but she's expected to live. The investigation appears to be happening inside the building. Officers have been walking in and out for about 2 hours now, so we're working to find out what led up to this, but we'll keep you updated on whether police make an arrest. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
New this morning, we know shots were fired in Cary around 11:15 p.m. Police say they received several calls from neighbors hearing gunshots on Village Greenway. Fortunately, no one has been injured. The video shows officers canvassing people in the area and looking for any property damage. We know they found a gun on the scene. We are working to learn more about their findings.
Jeff Hogan to the WRAL Live Center getting some brand new information in from Chapel Hill Police. They are investigating a shooting that happened in the 200 block of North Robertson Street. I'm showing it to you on this map right here. If you want to get a little bit better idea where this is in Chapel Hill, Robertson Street right off of East Main Street, Al's Burger Shack, a popular joint right there. Just before 7 o'clock, Chapel Hill Police got a call about a shooting there. Shots were fired at two men by someone. And then that person left the area and everybody took off. Investigators believe they think all the people involved knew each other. They're working to identify who was the shooter. Anyone with information is asked to call 911 or contact Chapel Hill Police.
All right, Jeff, thanks for that. Two people accused of kidnapping a mother and her one-year-old daughter are due in court today. Paola and Miguel Duran are facing 2 charges of kidnapping. Both are scheduled to be in a Wake County courtroom this afternoon. The kidnapping happened around 2 a.m. yesterday. We brought you the story as breaking news yesterday morning. Police say 3 people broke into a home while wearing masks and carrying guns. They demanded a man pay $1 million. When he refused, police say the suspects bound him with tape, then kidnapped his wife, Alejandra de Jesus, and her 1-year-old daughter, Grecia. Police found them safe in Wake Forest hours later.
And this morning, I-40 eastbound is reopened near Airport Boulevard after this right here, this crash. The highway closed last night just before 9 p.m. and Morrisville police say this crash involved 4 vehicles here. 8 people needed medical attention, but there were no severe injuries after this.
Speed up or move over. That's what some state lawmakers are proposing. WRAL's Destiny Patterson joins us live from the state legislative building this morning, where they'll discuss that today. Destiny.
That's right. I mean, we've all had that experience, right, where we've been stuck behind someone who isn't quite keeping up with the flow of traffic. This bill is meant to address that and help with that flow of traffic. In the bill, it says that vehicles should not impede normal traffic. The bill would also not allow certain trucks to drive in the left lane on major interstates with 6 or more lanes. There are some exceptions, though, for certain vehicles like farming tractors. The bill also looks to raise the minimum speed on interstates and main highways by 5 miles per hour. So drivers would need to drive at least 45 miles per hour where the speed limit is 55 and 50 miles per hour where the speed limit is 60. A House committee is expected to talk about this today at 10 a.m. Destiny Patterson, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
A motorcyclist was killed in a crash in Fayetteville, and this happened near the intersection of Cliffdale Road and Bunsey Road around 5:30-ish last night. Police say the driver of the other car stayed on scene and is cooperating with them. We're working to learn the name of the person who died.
In Nash County, a woman killed, a man shot, and a deputy injured while responding to that scene. This was the scene on Lancaster Store Road in Spring Hope yesterday, where deputies found 2 people shot. They say Reyna Castro was killed and a man is in critical condition. Investigators say the man, Hector Moran, is the person of interest in this shooting. Neighbors say this was a hectic scene. A deputy accidentally crashed his cruiser into a tree in response.
It was hard. It was hit hard. You hit real hard. It hit so hard it turned it on around straight this way. And it would come from this way and hit it. And the tire was laying way up there in the middle of our yard. One of the tires.
And Fred says he was sitting on his porch during this crash. He says an Amazon truck was parked in the road making deliveries. The deputy swerved out of the way of the truck, hitting that tree. He says it took over an hour for first responders to get the deputy out of the car safely. Both the Nash County deputy and the man found shot were taken to Wake Med.
Covering Wake County, schools will have remote learning as an option next year instead of canceling school on snow days, for example. That's a change from the past 3 years. Superintendent Robert Taylor says he wants to use remote learning if he knows a storm is coming that's likely to close schools. This year, Wake had to reschedule school on several teacher work days and even Saturdays.
Today, work to improve public schooling gets back underway. It's day 2 of a 3-day planning session for the State Board of Education. They plan to cover 2 big issues today. First, supporting beginning teachers to reduce turnover among educators. The board will also discuss how supporting staff like school nurses, counselors, and social workers improves students and communities.
The Canes are making a push for the Stanley Cup, and they're entering the second round of the playoffs after a show-stopping win over the Devils in Game 5 at Lenovo Center. We are talking double OT. WRAL's Pat Welter and Chris Lee break down the effort that has the Canes moving on.
Good morning from the Lenovo Center. 10 minutes into the Game 5 between the Carolina Hurricanes and New Jersey Devils. It was 3-0 for the Devils. I fully expected to report on a loss for the Canes, but no. the Cardiac Canes decided to show up, and they ended up winning this game 5-4 in double OT.
Yeah, Rod Brindamore said, I really didn't want to get on a plane back to Newark, deal with all delays. And the rest of the team clearly didn't either, because they scored, 3 goals in 4 minutes to start the second period. Truly incredible stuff. And how about the special teams, Chris? They don't give up a single power play goal the entire series. And, of course, Sebastian Aho on the power play, the game winner in double overtime, sends the Canes into the second round.
Felt unreal. Obviously, almost like black out for a second there, and the crowd goes nuts, and guys are jumping on you, and it's unreal.
I give the guys so much credit because there's not many games that even when we don't play well, we don't get back in a game. We find a way, and that's what happened tonight.
Well, no friends during the series, but you are allowed to be friends during the handshake line. And a lot of former Canes on the New Jersey Devils, Brett Pesce included. And Rod Brindamore said it was nice to get to hug him after the game. It was a big part of what they had going on here.
Yeah, speaking of Rod Brindamore, he made some history. He becomes the first head coach in NHL history to win at least one playoff series in each of his first 7 appearances in the Stanley Cup playoffs. So what a feat for him. Mm-hmm. And now the Carolina Hurricanes await for their next opponent. From the Lenovo Center, I'm Chris Lee, and Pat Welter here. We'll send it back inside to you guys.
And just so you know, the Canes will play the winner of the series between Washington and Montreal in the next round. Washington will be looking to close that series out tonight, in fact. Your time this morning is 8:11. Facing her shooter, a student says she made eye contact with the shooter who put her in the hospital. The story shared as Elizabeth City State University returns to class today.
And a community in mourning, a candlelight vigil held in Illinois, how they're remembering those killed after a car drove into a child care center.
And a mix of sun and clouds for today here over RDU. Those clouds will continue to thicken up as we get into the afternoon. And we do have a level 1 risk for part of the viewing area. I'll show you what time storms could start. 8:14, tracking this front. It's producing a few thunderstorms here up into Virginia. That slides down into our area later this afternoon, right around 3 or 4 o'clock in our northern counties, down as far south as Wake County by, say, 7 or 8 o'clock. It's a 30 to 40% chance of rain. And there is a level 1 risk for severe storms in our north and eastern counties. 1 or 2 of the cells that pop up could produce some damaging winds, but it shouldn't be widespread. 30% chance of rain for today. It's looking drier for Thursday, but a chance of rain on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday both look like they could bring us some showers and storms. Today is also going to be hot, high of 90, which would tie the previous record. And then, of course, some storms potentially this evening, at least in parts of the viewing area. Ken?
Happening now, Elizabeth, we figured out what's going on there in southern Wake County, particularly this huge slowdown that we're seeing there in US 1 coming in from Apex and Cary this morning. It was as a result of this crash right here. You can see the disabled vehicle right there on the shoulder of the road, but traffic is beginning to move somewhat, but that's what was causing it. I'll have another update in less than 5 minutes.
We'll check back in with you, Ken. Thank you. Nearly 50,000 homes in Missouri are without power this morning because of a powerful storm. High winds brought down trees and power lines there, and piles of debris are left behind from the buildings that were damaged. Many communities in southwest Missouri saw significant wind damage, and that includes trees falling onto rooftops.
Classes resumed today at Elizabeth City State University for the first time after a shooting on campus. For the first time, we're hearing from a student who was shot. A man was killed and 5 people injured in that shooting just after midnight on Sunday. Sarah Hill is among the victims. She is a student athlete at ECSU. She says she was having a fun night out with her classmates at the school's Viking Fest when someone suddenly started firing shots into the crowd. Hill says she was just 10 feet from the shooter.
And then he looks at the both of us and starts walking towards us. And I literally looked at him, I saw the muzzle, and I was like, girl, we gotta go.
Hill says she's recovering well. 2 football players were also shot. They survived. No one is in custody.
A community in Illinois is mourning 3 young girls and a teen who were killed. They died when a car crashed into a building hosting an after-school program, and people gathered in Chatham, Illinois last night for a candlelight vigil. The victims of the crash were between the ages of 7 and 18. The 18-year-old victim's soccer coach says that she hoped to become a teacher one day.
She always knew how to make someone happy and, make people laugh, and she just had a great spirit about her.
6 others were hurt in the crash, and authorities say they don't think this was a targeted attack. A toxicology report on the driver is not yet available.
Today, CEOs will be at the White House for an event showcasing investments made in the U.S. President Donald Trump invited the CEOs of Eli Lilly, NVIDIA, SoftBank Group, and other companies to the event. The White House says it will highlight the administration's work to attract investments and encourage further commitments from other major companies.
State lawmakers are debating what to do about homeless encampments. A proposal would allow these encampments in some places but ban them in others. The measure would let a local government designate a location, but they would also have to provide services such as toilets and running water, security patrols, and access to behavioral health services. Other camps would have to be dismantled, or the city would face lawsuits from residents or even business owners. Many lawmakers say residents have asked for something to be done about this.
They don't know what to do. There's so many tents and there's so many homeless there, and it's unsanitary. And what this bill does, it does not ban, does it criminalize homelessness? No. It addresses the use of, public property for camping and sleeping without prohibiting homelessness itself.
Some Democrats said they appreciated the attempt to solve a complex problem, but they want to see this paired with more funding for housing.
Heads up, Raleigh dog owners. The city's animal control unit will soon crack down on unleashed pets. The Raleigh Police Department says officers will boost patrols on city greenway trails and in parks starting May 12th. Violators could face up to $500 in fines for repeated offenses. RPD's animal control unit supervisor says the stepped-up enforcement is meant to keep both dogs and people safe.
If those dogs get into a fight, breaking that up is going to look pretty bad for the public, because that is opening everybody up to being bitten by a dog that you may not know their vaccination status.
RPD reported an increase in complaints of unleashed dogs in recent weeks. The boosted patrols are set to last until September 1st.
Today, the annual fair at Fort Bragg kicks off, and tonight, families can enjoy carnival rides, live music, and more. A visitor pass is not required to access the fairgrounds off Bragg Boulevard. Today, tickets cost $16, and gates open at 5 p.m. It's going to last from Monday through Friday, and it's going to be open on 1 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays. The fair runs until May 11th.
And happening today, the state DOT will hold a rodeo competition starting at 10 a.m. More than 100 highway equipment operators will show off their skills operating heavy equipment. We're talking tractors, backhoes, and motor graders. They'll maneuver the equipment through several obstacle courses. All 14 divisions for the NCDOT will host a similar event. Today's event includes Edgecombe, Halifax, Johnston, Nash, Wayne, and Wilson counties.
Elizabeth, I'll try to let them to have you and the WRAL Storm Tracker to attend that, but they weren't having it. Wouldn't swing it and let you in.
I would have loved that. That would have been so much fun. I was over at the DBAP yesterday for Education Day. So much fun with the Storm Tracker. And we actually park on that concourse. It's sort of down the third baseline. And you do have to back into that thing. And it's a kind of a long backup in the Storm Tracker. So I'm all good. I could do that. All right, some pretty sunshine out there. Fayetteville, Raleigh, Apex, and Chapel Hill. The clouds will continue thickening up as we get through the afternoon. Chapel Hill, courtesy of Top of the Hill Restaurant. Big picture showing some thunderstorms, some severe storms. As a matter of fact, just north of Dallas, where we've had severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings happening this morning. Also, some storms around St. Louis and some rain along this front, but just isolated amounts. You can see it looks much different here in Virginia. And this is the piece that we'll be dealing with later on today. So it's a level 1 out of 5 risk. It means that 1 or 2 of the cells could produce some isolated wind damage and nothing widespread. But just to note in those counties that we could see some stronger storms. At lunchtime, we're all quiet. It's likely to be the evening commute time before we begin to see showers and storms. At 5 o'clock, some of those cells could dip as far south as, say, Durham or Franklinton or Rocky Mount. And then closer to dinner time, maybe 7, 8 o'clock, those could slip as far south as maybe Wilson and Raleigh. But most of our southern counties aren't going to see much out of this. It looks drier for Thursday. This is Thursday at 8 p.m. But then Friday, we'll have the potential for a few scattered storms. You can see that at 5 o'clock Friday. And then Saturday and Sunday, if you happen to be watching Kat and Mike yesterday, they went ahead and added some rain to the forecast for Sunday. This version of Futurecast, this is the European model, has the rain coming in a little more slowly on Saturday, and then a system just stalling here that will continue to bring some rain to us for much of the day on Sunday and possibly Monday and Tuesday as well. Of course, the American model pushes all that out for Sunday. So there's a lot of disagreement on what will happen. But to cover the bases, we have a chance of showers and thunderstorms each day. Now, I really feel like Thursday is trending drier, and really past Sunday, it would just depend on how this whole thing sets up. So just kind of a note to keep your eye out for it. On Saturday, we have rain in the forecast for Saturday for the Race for the Cure, but just as easily it could be dry. It just depends on which model ends up, being right. Hopefully they'll come into some better agreement for tomorrow. Ham and Yam Saturday afternoon is likely to see some showers and thunderstorms, so keep that in mind. And Ken's going to be there for that, he said, with his umbrella.
Absolutely. Hey, all new into the WRAL Traffic Center. We just got reports of a crash on I-40 westbound near South Saunders. You can see the huge delays it's causing in that particular area. And just a little while ago, as it was coming out here, they were trying to find that crash on this cam at I-40 and South Saunders. We don't see it just yet, but I'll keep an eye on that and let you know how it's going to continue to affect your morning commute. Here in Southern Wake County, we had that crash on US 1, those northbound lanes involving that vehicle right there, but you can still see the bumper-to-bumper traffic this morning coming into the capital city there in the Apex Cary area. So keep that in mind. You're about to head out. All the troubled spots, an 18-minute delay if you're coming in from Durham this morning, a 13-minute delay if you're coming in from Wake Forest.
Learner permit changes. Teenagers may be able to get out on the road sooner. The new policy up for consideration.
And crime numbers down. Raleigh seeing a decrease in vehicle thefts. To look at the trends for murder and other crimes just ahead.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Time now is 8:26. I'm Michelle McConaughey. Ken Smith tracking some big backups on US 1, Ken.
Yeah, we've seen this heavy congestion in the Apex area in US 1 Apex this morning. There you can see an emergency vehicle working its way through the bumper-to-bumper traffic there in US 1 and 64 as a result of the crash. We're seeing some bumper-to-bumper traffic there. Again, if you're coming north on US 1 this morning, you might want to take Highway 540 as an alternate route. It's a toll, but it'll get you around this slowdown that we're seeing here on US 1. I'll have an update at the bottom of the hour over on Fox 50.
I'm tracking a front that's likely to bring some scattered thunderstorms from Raleigh northward by late this afternoon. You may see some of these during the evening commute, and one or two of these could be severe, especially in our northeastern counties. But it's a 30 to 40% chance. It's not likely to be terribly widespread. Again, north and east of Raleigh, some isolated wind damage is possible. Our temperatures this morning are on the mild side. It's going to be pretty warm at lunchtime, 85. Might be a little too hot to eat your lunch outside. We are likely to climb to 90 this afternoon. And again, during the evening commute, our northern counties could see a few storms.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Cary police investigating shots fired. The shooting happened at an apartment complex on Village Greenway. Officers received a call about gunshots in the area around 11:15 last night. Nobody was injured. We'll keep you updated on the search for that shooter. And this morning, lawmakers considering a ban that keeps slow drivers out of the passing lane. The bill focuses on helping the flow of traffic. It would also change the minimum speed limit on certain roads and ban certain trucks from driving in the left lane on major interstates. Next on Fox 50, what we know about a stabbing at an apartment complex in Raleigh and the new policy that could get teens on the road faster.
Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Breaking news right now at 8:30, a stabbing at a Raleigh apartment building. The investigation underway after a woman was hospitalized.
Plus, shots fired. An investigation underway in Cary. We're going to show you the vehicle police were searching in a neighborhood just after midnight.
And kidnapping arrests. The two people are facing charges connected to an abduction of a mother and her 1-year-old child in Garner.
Our next weather maker is a front that brings some showers and thunderstorms to our northern counties this afternoon and evening. I'll walk you through the timeline on Futurecast.
Lots to talk about weather-wise. We'll dive into that in just a bit. We want to first say thanks so much for waking up with us here on WRAL News and Fox 50. I'm Chris Lovingood.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey. It's Wednesday. We're halfway through the week. And like you said, we have to get over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner to talk about the possibility of some rain later.
This front has been producing some severe storms up in West Virginia and Kentucky overnight. You can see things have really quieted down. A little bit of light rain back here already in the northwestern portion of North Carolina. And this front will just dip south, about as far south as Raleigh is where we'll end up with some showers and storms fairly late today during the evening hours. But around the time of the evening commute, we could see some storms around Durham. Like I said, I'm going to walk you through Futurecast coming up. Our severe threat is from, say, Raleigh northward, all the way from Granville County eastward. Isolated wind damage. It wouldn't be anything widespread. Pretty blue skies here over Zebulon this morning. A little breezy. We have a southwest wind at 11 miles per hour, and it's warm, 67 degrees, warmer than yesterday. Our temperatures are mostly holding in the mid-60s right now, but by lunchtime, we could be in the mid-80s and then 90s. Our high temperature forecast, if we hit 90, it'll be a tie of the record for today. It stays hot for the next several days, and we're looking at a better chance for some rain for parts of the weekend, Ken.
Elizabeth, 8:31, we've got some breaking news on US 1 there in the Cary Apex area. There's a crash right here at US 1 and Tryon Road. We've seen emergency vehicles working their way through this bumper-to-bumper traffic, and right here you can see a fire truck and other first responders working this crash scene, just bumper-to-bumper traffic. Listen, if you're coming from all points south, Moore County, listen, Highway 540 is your alternate route. It's a toll, but at least it'll get you around the slowdown that you're seeing there on US 1. We did have a report of a crash on I-40 near South Saunders Street. It's clearly in the clearing phase because you see traffic is moving nicely on I-40 and South Saunders in both directions. In terms of major routes coming into the capital city, you're looking at a half-hour delay because of that crash on US 1 and Tryon, a 12-minute delay if you're coming in from Wake Forest this morning. Over in the Bull City, really nothing that's going to really make you late to get to anything there in the Bull City. We do want to isolate 885 really quickly. If you're heading into Durham this morning, you're looking at a 7-minute delay. If you're leaving Durham using 885 to get to I-40, you're just looking at a 2-minute delay. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Raleigh police are investigating an apparent stabbing at an apartment complex. That's where we find WRAL's Kelsey Coffey. She's live at West Grove Towers. Kelsey, you've been there all morning long. You've talked to officers. Walk us through what you've learned.
Yes, Chris, I spoke with an officer earlier this morning, and he says they're investigating what appears to be a stabbing. So forensics arrived here about an hour ago, and they're investigating what appears to be a stabbing here at West Grove Tower Apartments on West Grove Road in Raleigh. The WRAL breaking news tracker captured this video of an ambulance leaving the complex, heading to the hospital. Police say one woman was hurt, but she's expected to live. The investigation appears to be happening inside the building. We've seen officers walking in and out for about 2.5 hours now. So we're working to find out what led up to this, and we'll also keep you updated on whether police make an arrest. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
We're also following this. Cary police investigating shots fired. The shooting happened at an apartment complex on Village Greenway. Officers received a call about gunshots in that area around 11:15 last night, but no one was injured. And so we'll keep you updated on the search for the shooter as we learn more.
2 people accused of kidnapping a mom and her 1-year-old daughter are due in court today. Paola and Miguel Duran are facing 2 charges of kidnapping. Both are scheduled to be in a Wake County courtroom this afternoon. The kidnapping happened around 2 a.m. yesterday. We brought you this story as breaking news yesterday morning. Police say 3 people broke into a home while wearing masks and carrying guns. They demanded a man pay $1 million. When he refused, police say the suspects bound him with tape, then kidnapped his wife, Alejandra de Jesus, and her 1-year-old child, Grecia. Police found them safe in Wake Forest hours later. And we will be pushing for more answers about this investigation throughout the day. Look for updates on WRAL News from 4 to 7:30 this evening.
Today, lawmakers will debate a bill that would get young drivers on the road faster, but with less experience. WRAL's Destiny Patterson joins us from the legislative building in Destiny. This bill proposes getting rid of graduated licensing.
Graduated licensing puts specific restrictions in place for teen drivers as they start learning how to drive. And that includes learner's permits as well as provisional licensing as well. And the whole process is meant to help drivers get more experience, and it requires a letter from their school for those teen drivers. The law was originally meant to reduce deadly crashes involving teens and keep students in school. Supporters of the bill say eliminating graduated licensing will help ease the demand at already overcrowded DMVs. Lawmakers against the bill brought up safety concerns because less experienced drivers could get on the road with less supervision. A House committee is set to discuss this today at 10 o'clock, so just about an hour and a half, and we will be watching, and we'll keep you guys updated. Destiny Patterson, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
A portion of I-40 East in Sampson County will remain closed until around noon today, and that's because of this fiery crash nearly 24 hours ago that caused a tractor trailer to explode. This happened not far from Faison. We first brought you the story as breaking news during our 6 a.m. news yesterday. The North Carolina State Highway Patrol says a single tractor trailer carrying fuel hit a slower moving car. A pickup truck then crashed into the tractor trailer, causing that fire. 4 people were hurt, one seriously.
Raleigh saw a significant drop in stolen cars and a dip in other crimes. That's according to the city's first quarter crime numbers. The new numbers also show an increase in homicides. Last year, there were 9 homicides in the first quarter. And this year, there have been 11. In 9 of those 11 cases, arrests were made, and 1 case was considered self-defense. When it comes to motor thefts, last year, 592 cars were reportedly stolen in the first quarter. This year, that number is 477.
The Carolina Hurricanes are moving on to the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. They finished off the New Jersey Devils with a come-from-behind win in Game 5 at Lenovo Center in double overtime. After falling behind 3-0 in the first period, the Canes scored 4 times in the second to get right back into the game. It was tied at 4 at the end of regulation, and then just over 4 minutes into the second overtime, Sebastian Aho got his second goal of the game to get the win and end the series. Fans who were there say the end result was never in doubt.
Canes are in the playoffs, and we're here to stay, here to play. We want that cutback here in Raleigh.
Yes, we do. The Canes will play the winner of the series between Washington and Montreal in the next round. Washington will be looking to close that series out tonight. The schedule for the second round has not yet been released.
Today, former Vice President Kamala Harris is set to give a keynote speech in California, and this is happening one day after President Donald Trump marked 100 days in office. Harris is expected to deliver a pointed critique of his administration. She'll speak at Emerge. That's an annual gathering of Democratic women working to become elected officials. This is all happening as Harris is weighing her political future. Sources say she's considering a run for governor of California in 2026 or making another presidential run in 2028.
The Wake County School Board will vote May 6th on the superintendent's budget proposal. Changing school building temperatures by 1 degree will be a part of final budget recommendations. The school board's budget committee decided yesterday to propose raising air conditioning set points from 73 to 74 degrees. It would also change heat setting points from 70 to 69 degrees. They also propose raising their supplement for educators by only 1.5% instead of 3%. That's a difference of $100 or more per teacher.
Other states are outpacing North Carolina's raises to teacher pay. A new report from the National Education Association says the state dropped 5 spots to 43rd in the nation in average teacher pay, around $58,000 last year. It did hop a few spots to 36th in beginning teacher pay, around $42,000. The General Assembly will consider teacher pay again in budget negotiations, and the Senate's proposal includes bonuses and a raise of just more than 1%.
Time now is 8:39. Storms topple trees. Severe weather in Pennsylvania kills at least 2 people. We'll show you the aftermath in places like Pittsburgh.
And hidden phone apps, a warning for parents about their child's phone. The applications experts say could pose a risk to their safety.
And we'll take you outside. Beautiful look over Lake Gaston this morning. We are nearing record highs over the next few days. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner will tell us who has the best chance of seeing some showers later this afternoon.
8:43. Temperatures are warming up out there. We have a strong flow out of the south, bringing our temperatures this morning into the 60s. And then this cold front is going to sink southward, interact with some of that warm air, and bring us a chance of showers and thunderstorms, mainly from the Triangle area northward. Our southern counties should be pretty dry today. 30 to 40% chance this afternoon and evening. And from Granville County eastward, we do have a level 1 risk for severe storms. It would just be 1 or 2 cells that could produce some wind damage. 30% chance of rain today. Thursday is really trending pretty dry. Kept that 20% on just to cover the bases, but a chance of storms again Friday. And the weekend's looking a little wetter. We'll get into more detail about that coming up. It's going to be a hot one today, a high of 90 degrees, and humidity creeps up a bit as well. That 90 would tie the previous record. If you're doing any outside exercise, it'll be more comfortable early. Ken?
Happening now, Elizabeth, we're staying on top of this breaking news here on US 1 in the Apex Cary area as a result of a crash on US 1 and Tryon. At one point, one lane was blocked off because of first responders working that particular scene. But I'll tell you, if you're coming on US 1 North, your best bet will be to take Highway 55 as an alternate route. Your other option is Highway 540. It's a toll, but at least it'll get you around that slowdown that we're seeing on US 1.
All right, thank you, Ken. At least 2 people were killed in Pennsylvania as a round of severe storms hit that state. The most severe weather was seen yesterday in Ohio and Pennsylvania. High winds hit the region, ripping up trees from the rain-soaked ground. Officials in Pittsburgh say a man died after he was electrocuted by live wires brought down during that storm. The circumstances of the second death were not made available.
It's tragic. A New Jersey federal judge ruled Mahmoud Khalil can move forward with his lawsuit. Khalil is a recent Columbia graduate, and he says he was detained for his political views supporting Palestinian rights. The judge said that he would keep jurisdiction over the case in New Jersey federal court. Khalil remains at an ICE detention facility in Louisiana, and his legal team is working to help him reunite with his wife.
What do Yarn, Scout, and Holla have in common? They're all apps that could be on your child's phone, and they could pose risks. 5 on your sides. Keely Arthur highlights the top apps every parent should know about to help keep your kids safe.
A new day and another phone app to be aware of. Luckily, law enforcement agencies across the country, including right here in North Carolina, have put out this list of apps every parent needs to know about in 2025. I want to direct you to these calculator apps, or at least that's what they look like. In reality, it's an app that allows users to hide videos, photos, and documents, making it difficult for even the most in-the-know parents to monitor what their children do on cell phones.
That you want to teach your children how to behave when you're not there, when you are not monitoring with them, when you are not, being their digital guardian. You want to give them strategies so that way when some kid comes up to them and says, "Oh my gosh, I just saw this," and it looks really hot, and you go, "Oh," they need to be able to say, "Oh gosh, no."
We put this list up on our website for you to explore yourself, but we want to help you even more. So coming up tonight on WRAL News at 6, I'm going to walk you through the tools you already have on your cell phones and computers that allow you to monitor your child's social media and screen time use. Keely Arthur, 5 on your side.
Bringing it out here, Jeff Hogan in the WR Live Center right now with a tough break for golfers' favorite course in Pinehurst. Some of them favor Pinehurst number 4, okay? As you get this live look at it right now, just to the left, that little starter shack there, if you head down, that's the first tee down there, Pinehurst number 4. But the greens did not come back from a cold, tough winter there, so Pinehurst number 4 is going to close for the summer for restoration work there. According to the resort, the greens just didn't grow well during the cold winter weather, did not respond to their standards. So rather than open it for substandard play, the agronomists decided that they're going to shut down play there, and they are going to put it back in order by the end of the summer. August 6th is the start date for when they'll be able to play Pinehurst number 4 again. They're going to shut it down in mid-May.
For golfers, but they have other courses. Thanks, Jeff. President Donald Trump held a rally in Michigan to commemorate his 100th day in office. The state is key to the U.S. auto industry, with 1 in 5 jobs there linked to it. His rally comes as the administration announced it's easing some of the auto tariffs. His new executive order would continue the 25% tariff on imported cars and put a new 25% tariff on auto parts into effect this weekend, as previously announced. They also allowed reimbursements for domestic car producers importing car parts.
They all want to come back to Michigan and build cars again. You know why? Because of our tax and tariff policy.
Cars containing a combined 85% of parts that comply with the United States-Mexico-Canada agreement and produced domestically will not face any tariffs there. The plan, according to the White House officials, is for tariffs to be phased out over time as foreign automakers move more manufacturing to the United States.
A bill moving through the state house wants to make it easier for people to be tested for dementia. House Bill 567 would require insurance companies to cover biomarker testing. It would also prohibit insurers from discriminating against individuals based on genetic or biomarker information. The bill has momentum. It won approval in the House Health Committee today, potentially setting it up for a vote in the coming days.
Our Teacher of the Week has been teaching kindergarten for 30 years at the same Wake County school. WRAL's Ken Smith paid a surprise visit to Poe Magnet Elementary School to recognize this very special teacher.
And what did his friends do, Angel? How did they help him?
Karen Williams is always figuring out ways to help her young students learn. She says she's always had a special connection to little children.
It's my gift. Everyone has a gift they're given. You got to figure out what your gift is. And I know mine is little children.
Teaching little ones has become her life's work. 30 years and counting at Poe Magnet Elementary, not to mention her other teaching stints.
I love little kids. I teach at my church. I teach here. I taught in daycare. Wow, isn't that cool? Yeah. Yeah, so that's part of the playground. Give Greg a hand.
Miss Williams prides herself on creating a warm, nurturing learning environment for her kindergarten students.
I try to do something fun with them every day, and I tell them in kindergarten, no one should not like school. You should come to school wanting to learn every day.
Miss Williams, you are WRAL's Teacher of the Week. And in true Miss Williams fashion, proving everyone is welcome and everyone belongs, she's celebrated with her students.
We are a team. Come on.
Ken Smith, WRAL News.
I love how she made that moment about the entire class. That's all. I actually just got chills. That was so precious. If you'd like to nominate a teacher, you can go to WRAL.com and enter Teacher of the Week in the search box.
Those segments always make you smile. Like, no matter what you're doing, you have to stop and watch them because they're so good. It warms your heart. All right, let's get over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner tracking a front that could bring us some rain later today.
Yeah, our teachers work so hard and definitely don't get enough recognition. So thank you to all the teachers out there. We do have a front that's sinking southward. It's going to bring us a chance of some showers and thunderstorms as we get closer to the evening commute. It's nice and dry right now. Here's Futurecast, and you can see a good bit of sunshine. We've had some clouds begin to fill in. This is at noon, and once we get to 3 o'clock, there could be an isolated cell or two up near Roxborough. By the time we get to 5 o'clock, most of that is going to be, say, from Durham along the North Carolina's Virginia line. I'm not expecting during the evening commute that we're going to see a lot of rain right here in the Triangle, so we should be fine for the evening commute. I mean, there might be 1 or 2 cells that roll through, but it's not going to be, a prolonged downpour. At 7 o'clock, clustered over around Rocky Mountain, there may be a few more of those later in the evening. You can see there at 10 or 11 o'clock, another batch of cells that pop up. North and east of the Triangle, we have a level 1 risk for severe storms. Isolated wind damage is what we would likely see there, not looking at anything widespread. Our big weather maker, of course, this front that will bring a very small chance for severe storms in our northeastern counties. On the south side of that front, where most of us are, definitely turning hotter. We could see a high of 90 degrees this afternoon. Here's a live look at Fenton and Cary. Good bit of filtered sunshine. We have some high thin cloud cover out there, and definitely warm temperatures, warmer than it was this time yesterday, 67. Here's a nice thing, though. Our dew point's still sitting at 58. As long as our dew point stays in the 50s, it feels more comfortable. We're mainly in the 60s right now, but not for long. Temperatures will warm up pretty quickly for us. Holly Springs, 67, 65, Chapel Hill, 67 in Nightdale. 90 today in Durham and Raleigh. That would end up tying the record. 76 is our normal high. So these temperatures are well above normal all the way up until Friday. And then we're a little bit cooler over the weekend with a better chance for rain. 90 today ties the record at RDU. 91 in Fayetteville comes very close to it. Checking out that muggy meter, we're feeling comfortable right now, but we will see those levels climbing over the next little while, and it'll feel a little stickier to us really all the way through the weekend. Saturday, WRAL Race for the Cure. It does look like we could see some rain on Saturday, especially during the afternoon. Keep checking back if you have outdoor plans, as the models are not in very good agreement about what we may see.
And before we go to break, we do want to give you a look at your winning NC Education lottery numbers. We'll get you a quick check on traffic coming up in just a bit.